Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to be covering what I call conversion boosters. These are some tactics and some tools that you can utilize to get more conversions out of your landing pages. Now, I'm going to be covering 4 specific conversion booster tactics, and for each of these 4 tactics, I will share 3 tools that I recommend you check out if you want to implement these. I want to give a quick disclaimer. These conversion boosters are what I said, they're tactics. And so you don't want to use these if you're not already seeing at least some success with your landing pages. These work best if you're trying to take a good landing page and make it great, but they don't necessarily work if you're not seeing results at all, because that means there's probably some underlying issues that need to be resolved first. Maybe you have a bad offer, maybe the targeting of the traffic that's going to the page is wrong, maybe there's some other things you need to figure out first. So to get all of that figured out first, I do recommend you check out my free 7-question landing page framework. It's absolutely free, and this is an ebook that I put together with basically the entire strategy of what goes into a great landing page. So you can check it out by clicking the link below this video, or you could go to growthmarketer.co/framework. It's absolutely free, and that'll give you a good foundation for everything else that you're going to be doing with your landing pages to get more leads and sales, and that'll put you in a good position to utilize these conversion booster tactics. So with that being said, let's jump right into the 4 conversion booster tactics. Number 1, live chat. Number 2, pop-ups or hello bars or sticky bars. Number 3, social proof widgets. And number 4, conversational forms and chatbots. So now we're going to go through each of those 4 categories. I'll tell you a little bit more about them, how to utilize them, what the benefit is, and how this can help you improve your landing page conversions. And then I'll show you 3 tools that I like in each of these categories. So let's start with the first one, live chat. So when we're talking about live chat, the question that often comes up is, oh, well, I don't really have time to monitor it. How am I going to figure out to be responsive enough to get this to work? And there's services out there that'll actually help you monitor your live chat, but if you don't have the resources to monitor that live chat during business hours, then I don't recommend using it, because that is a huge point of friction. If someone is going to reach out on your website or on your landing page and they utilize the live chat, but then there's no response and they're expecting a response pretty quickly, that's going to create a very negative visitor experience, and you want to avoid that. So there's some opportunities with some of the settings for some of the tools to turn off the live chat if it's not business hours, or if you don't have someone to monitor it, so you can create schedules, and that has helped a little bit. But definitely, if you're going to take advantage of this first conversion booster tactic, make sure you do have the resources to monitor the live chat when it is enabled. Okay, with that being said, some of the tools that I like best in no particular order are Tidio. This is a really good all-around chatbot and live chat product. It's really good for e-commerce. It's good for service businesses. It's just an all-around fantastic and well-designed product. They have some different features, including chatbots, which is becoming more of the standard for live chat tools to also include some type of chatbot functionality. And so you can check out Tidio.com. This is what it looks like. So it's similar to something like Intercom, but I do think it's a little bit cheaper, or actually a lot cheaper. It's utilized by over 300,000 websites, so it's been out there for a while, and they're constantly making it better, and it has really good support, so I would check that one out. The second one is called Chatra. This is, out of all the tools that I'm covering in this space, this is one that I've used personally more than any of the others, and it's a simple, easy to implement tool. It's very affordable. You can see the pricing here. They have a free plan, they have an essential plan at just $15 per agent per month. And I'd say this is a really good product for service businesses where you don't need a lot of that additional functionality. You just want something simple, and you want to be able to schedule it on and off, and it just seems to work. So check out chatra.com. And the third one is Drift. This is probably the most well-known live chat tool for service businesses, or pretty much anything that's not e-commerce, and they're very well known in the enterprise space because they have a lot of high tier plans. They have a lot of enterprise clients spending thousands of dollars a month, but as you can see here, their pricing has certainly changed in recent days, and it's a lot less accessible for people these days. So unless you can still get access to the free plan, I would recommend checking out some of the other ones first, because of the pricing changes here, but you can sort of see what it's all about here on the drift.com website. Okay, so that covers the first of the 4 conversion booster tactics: live chat. The second one I want to cover are pop-ups and hello bars or sticky bars. And what these are pop-ups that show up after a delay of maybe 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, or maybe it's only as someone tries to exit the page or if they scroll to a certain part of the page. And what this does is it gives you a good opportunity to create a secondary conversion experience. So a good use case would be, let's say that you are trying to capture a lead or make a sale and the visitor just seems a little apprehensive. So maybe if you're an e-commerce website, you could have a pop-up that says save 10% off your order today. Just put in your email address to redeem the coupon code. Or if you are trying to get someone to fill out a form for a consultation, something like that, you could maybe have a pop-up that shows up with an ebook that is still going to allow you to capture some of that information so you could follow up, but it's a little bit of a different offer instead of just trying to get people to book the consultation right away. So this can be very powerful. You do want to be careful with how you utilize pop-ups. You don't want them to pop up right away, and you don't want too many different things going on. So if you are going to utilize pop-ups, then I would not recommend also having some of these other features that we're talking about here, because then if you have everything popping up and buzzing and blinking and flashing, it can create a very distracting environment for the visitor. The pop-up product that I utilize most often is the one that's built into Unbounce. Since we build so many pages in Unbounce, they have some really good templates, very easy to get started with Unbounce. But if you're not already paying for Unbounce, then I would not recommend just signing up for the pop-ups because it is rather expensive. But if you're using Unbounce, you pretty much have access to that product depending on the plan you're on. If you're looking for a dedicated pop-up tool that's going to work on WordPress and on pretty much any site, I think the gold standard right now is Convertflow. This is what I'm using a lot on growthmarketer.co if you want to check it out. They have some really nice interactive surveys as well, which is a fantastic feature. And they do a lot of other things too, in addition to just pop-ups and sticky bars. They even have their own landing page builder. So check out convertflow.com. And then, of course, if you're already using WordPress, a lot of the page builders have pop-ups built in. So if you've been watching some of my previous videos, you know that I'm a fan of Elementor when it comes to WordPress page builders. And so they have a pop-up product as well. Very robust. It has lots of different features, lots of different templates. In fact, over 100 templates. And they have some advanced triggers and conditions. So I find that a lot of these pop-up tools some of them can be limited with the triggering and the conditions for when that pop-up is going to show up and where it's going to show up. So you always want to look at that as you're vetting the right product for you. And I like the settings that all of these tools that I'm covering have. They have a lot of different options for when and where to show that pop-up. Okay, so that covers the first 2 of 4 conversion booster tactics. So we'll move on to the third one, which are social proof widgets. Now, even if you don't know what these are by name, you've probably seen them on websites. These are the little things that pop up usually in the lower corner of the screen that say something like, Joe just made a purchase from New York, or 10 people are viewing this page right now, or 15 people purchased the product in the last day. There's something that create a sense of social proof and activity of what it is that you're offering. And this is great from a psychological principle. It ties back into one of the 7 questions in our 7-question landing page framework that basically says that you need to show on your landing page that other people are benefiting from what you're offering. There's a really good book that goes into more detail on this called Influence by Dr. Robert Cialdini. And a lot of the psychology behind this is that if you can embed some social proof on your landing pages, you're typically going to get better results. So when it comes to tools, the 3 that I want to show you are first, Wiser Notify. This is the one that I'm using right now on growthmarketer.co. So it says something like 10 marketers just subscribed to the newsletter in the last 7 days, and it works pretty well. Very happy with it. And it's just an all-around really good product. Then there's fomo.com. You can see the little example here in the corner of what it looks like. They've been around for a very long time. Solid product. I think it's, it's not like they don't have any features that I would consider a game changer, but it's just a very simple and reliable product. And then there's Nudgify, and they're doing some very creative things here where you can see here they're integrating Trustpilot, and they have some other types of widgets that could pop up, like this one here showing a little icon here. And so, there's a lot of different use cases for Nudgify beyond just social proof. So that might also be one to check out. Okay, the 4th and final conversion booster tactic are conversational forms and chatbots. What do I mean by that? Well, out of all the things that go into a landing page, forms, in my opinion, are the most unchanged and innovative, right? Forms have been pretty standard since the beginning of the internet. And this is a problem because forms are boring. Forms create a lot of complexity for the visitor. It creates a lot of cognitive load. If you have a form of 8 questions that someone needs to fill out, that creates a lot of friction that prevents you from capturing that lead or that sale. And so we need to do things to innovate this and to change the experience for the visitor. And that's where conversational forms and chatbots can come in, because like it sounds, they make it more conversational for the visitor. So if they need to provide information, they can do so in a way that is frictionless, or at least less boring, I guess you could say. So when it comes to conversational forms, I think the gold standard here would be Typeform. This is a very popular and easy to use product. You can kind of see how it looks here. This is a pretty standard example of what a Typeform would look like. Usually you're just showing one question at a time, and it works. We just did this for a client where we took their regular page that had an Unbounce form and we turned it into a multi-step page where on step 1 they would just click through and it would go to step 2, which would have an embedded Typeform, and they're seeing a significant improvement in their conversions. I don't know the exact numbers, but I know the client is very happy with it, and it's really primarily thanks to Typeform. So it creates a fantastic opportunity to create that conversational flow. And you can do things like, let's say I ask you for your first name, then I could say things like, hey, Joe, what's your last name? So you can use the previously collected information to personalize some of those additional steps, and that's what makes it conversational. The next one is LandBot. This one, while it's a little bit on the pricey side, out of all the chatbot products out there, I think this is the easiest to work with. And what I really like about it is you can embed it into your site. So a lot of times chatbots live in this little widget, sort of like live chat, but LandBot, you can do that, but you can also embed it directly into your site. So we've had clients where we've just replaced the form on their page with an embedded LandBot and seen some great results. Now, it does take the logic of figuring out what's the right flow for that chatbot, because it's not something that's just going to write itself. Like, a lot of people have a misconception about chatbots and they think that you just install it and then it's sort of just the AI takes over and it starts answering questions for you. But we're not quite there yet. Especially with LandBot, in the most typical use cases, you're going to have to program out what you need it to do, but it's very easy. You can see here if there's some images on the page. If we look at the chatbot platform, it's all drag and drop. You don't have to get into the code, and you can see here, this is sort of like what the flow looks like. So you'll have a question, then you'll have different responses, and then you can link them to additional questions depending on that response. And it creates a very seamless experience for the visitor. And then finally, I would recommend you check out GrowForm. Now, this is a relatively new product, but I think this one has great potential to completely reimagine what forms are all about, especially for the lead generation space or the service-based business space. Like, law firms would benefit from using these types of forms. It's basically like a multi-step form, almost like a quiz. And like I said, this is a very early product right now. I've spoken with the founder, Harvey, a couple times, and I think he's doing some great things. He's always adding new features and new functionality, and he's very responsive to feedback. So I do recommend you check out growform.co. So there you have it. That's going to cover the 4 conversion boosters. Once again, we talked about live chat, pop-ups and hello bars, social proof widgets, and conversational forms and chatbots. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like. Also hit that subscribe button so that others can discover this channel for the very first time. And don't forget to download my free landing page framework. You can hit the link in the description below to get instant access to it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.